It's Alcan, and welcome back to my channel. Well, we have an update on yesterday's story. It turns out it wasn't one FEMA employee who was fired, it was now four. And I'm reading you a story from the Associated Press, and we're going to get into this. So we're going to see if I find the time. Yeah, so four FEMA employees are fired over payments to reimburse New York City for hotel costs for migrants. By Rebecca Santana. Four employees were fired Tuesday for payments to reimburse New York City for hotel costs for migrants, Department of Homeland Security officials said. The workers were accused of circumstancing leadership to make the transaction, which had been stranded for years through a program that helps costs to care for a surge in migration. However, officials did not give details on how the four had violated any policy. Oh, yes, it's called an executive order saying all payments must stop. And they ignored the executive order. That's why they got fired. Sorry, Rebecca. On Monday, President Donald Trump's aide, Elon Musk, posted on X that his team has uncovered payments used to house immigrants in luxury hotels with money intended for disaster relief. Remember Maui? Remember California? Remember the states that were hit by two hurricanes? That's where the money's supposed to go. Musk blasted a FEMA, which part of the Homeland Security, he called the payments grossly insubordination. FEMA acting administrator Cameron Hamilton later said the payments were suspended and employees who authorized them would be held accountable. Executive order said no more payments until all this stuff is done. And you know Trump does not want migrants in the United States anymore who were here illegally. The terminated employees were a FEMA chief financial officer, two program analysts, and a grant specialist, a Homeland Security statement said. The employees were made enormous payments for luxury New York hotels for migrants. The statement said DHS will not sit idle and allow these state activists to undermine the will and the safety of American people. The statement gave no other details, and officials didn't reply to emails seeking further comment. But in court documents Tuesday, Hamilton said the administration yanked funding for the shelters and service program because the concerns of money was facilitating illegal activity in Manhattan hotels used to house migrants. Hamilton's comments came as part of a lawsuit seeking to block Trump's administration freeze on federal grants and loans. The freeze just days into the new administration threw states, communities, and organizations that rely on federal funding into mass confusion and was rescinded 2 days later. As of today, the department has paused the funding to the shelter and service program based on significant concerns that the funding is going to engage in or facilitating illegal activity, Hamilton wrote. Hamilton cited a New York Post report that the Venezuelan gang Trinidad was using the Roosevelt Hotel, which is used to house migrants in New York City, as a recruiting center and base of operation to plan various of different types of crimes. Hamilton said if FEMA payments continued, they would have fund criminal activity. You know, Trinidad has been a very hot topic ever since they were discovered in the country. New York stated leasing the Hotel Roosevelt as an intake center for homeless migrants seeking service in 2023, and it is closed in the fall of 2020 due to the coronavirus pandemic. By law, New York City must offer shelter to anyone who needs it, and the time the regular homeless shelter system was overwhelmed with new arrivals, the hotel now serves as both a place where migrants must go to apply for service as a temporary shelter for hundreds of families who stay for 60 days. Only 60 days. Hamilton said that the federal government can pause or end payments if recipients don't abide by the terms, and the FEMA is reaching out to New York City to get more information, ensure that federal funds are not being used for illegal activities. In other words, as long as Trinidad is continuing their activities at the hotel, they are not going to be paying for it. Simple as that. The Shelter and Service Program, which money continues from Congress, administrated by FEMA has become a flashpoint for criticism by Republicans who incorrectly claim it's taking funds from people hit by hurricanes or floods. Well, I hate to disappoint you, Rebecca, but they did an audit and they found that FEMA lied about their budget situation. They said they had no money when these disasters were hitting. They found they had $8 billion in unused funds, which could have been used to take care of these disasters from Hawaii to California to the states that were affected by the two hurricanes. But instead, they sat on the money. Of course, you know what for? To help the migrants. The money is separated from the Disaster Relief Fund, which is FEMA's main funding stream to help people and government affected by disaster. Not so true, because they said they ran out of money when the hurricanes hit. The firing and court filings came as Trump Republican administration ratcheted up pressure on FEMA, suggested it might be disbanded and money should be given directly to the states to handle disasters. Note that the AP reporter, Senator, I don't even know how to pronounce that name, also contributed to the story from New York. But the fact was, they did two audits, and they found $8 billion in unspent money that should have been used for the disaster reliefs in the areas that I just mentioned. They didn't do that. And then this payment was not supposed to go through for the shelters because the Train the Hours were using the Roosevelt Hotel as a recruiting center for their crimes. Remember, the people were getting mugged in Central Park is because the Train the Hour was recruiting people and mugging people not only in Central Park, but across New York City. So, that's why they wanted to stop payment, because they did not want Train the Hour to get any more money. And they didn't want the New York City to continue these hotels. They wanted to deport as many people as possible who had criminal records. And Train the Hour, we know, has criminal records. But they're not allowed to go in and arrest these people. ICE is not allowed in this facility. But we're going to have to see if the changes in the administration will force the subject. And one thing to put pressure on these people is, 1, cut their funding. 2, drop the charges against New York City Mayor Eric Adams. Because if he cooperates with us deporting people, you're going to have a problem. And all I can say to these folks is goodbye, go eat some McDonald's french fries. I don't give a crap. Out of here. 86, out of here. Bye. Now, we don't know if they're going to press charges against the 4 employees who were fired for this payment, but they should, because there was an executive order in place saying do not make this payment, but they went behind the president back and did it anyway. And if Elon Musk wasn't looking into these finances, this payment would have went through and nobody would have noticed. So this is Alcan saying so long for now, and don't forget your stop. I might get a hat that says I'm Harry Balls. Who knows?